So today we're doing 3.5, which is multiplication. Note that the next assignment will be object removal. Now we used to do object removal first and then multiplication second, but I realized that removal is harder because when you're removing something, you need to fill something in. But when you're multiplying something, you don't. So let's take a look. So first of all, I would go to new and to create a photo. But in this case, we actually have the photo saved in here. So one of the things I would do is I would actually drag it here to open a photo. Okay. Now, um, if I am, I if I drag all these three photos together at the same time, um, it will open three different projects actually. So I don't actually want that. So this is a trick that I want you to see. So I drag one photo to open, and the other two photos, what I would do is I actually drag it and then release it in the layers, and they will actually open as layers instead. Okay, so one over another. So I would look at all these three photos and choose the one that the background is what I want. So this background is better. The other background is a little bit dirty. Oops. Forgive me for a dirty table. Okay, but I don't really want that table. That's great. So I want to use this table. It's a little bit more desirable. I like it. That's the way I'm gonna go with it. Okay, so let me hide this one. Um, and what I would do is I would actually choose the free selection tool, kind of roughly select this first. Oh, I don't want that because I want the reflection. Okay, very roughly. And then at the end of the free selection tool, I will click enter. So we will connect the first and last point, and I will choose image. Oh no, selection and invert. So I'm choosing everything outside this this selection that I chose, and then I can do delete. Now, if you're deleting and it deletes to white, that means that your photo doesn't have an alpha channel. And the alpha channel basically it's transparency. So right click, you go to layer transparency, and you need to add transparency and then delete. So then what you're gonna get is really this photo here without any white interfering you. Okay, so this is done, and then the third photo, I'm gonna actually do the same. Click, 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 enter, and then uh, selection invert. So choose everything else, delete. Oh, okay. I chose the wrong layer. I need to choose this layer. Delete. Okay. So somehow, um, what I learned is that when you actually add an alpha channel, when you have a selection, it actually doesn't apply to the whole picture. So what I would do is I would choose cancel the selection first, and I will actually go to layer and somehow sometimes if I add it twice, it's here. So it's strange. So just note that if it happens again, just add it again. But generally, you just need to add it once. Okay. So we have these two pictures in the bottom. We're gonna actually move it. Unfortunately, somehow because the screen recording software, it actually stops me from moving the orders of the layers. So I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna find a way to fix it later. Okay, so that looks like this. And then what I'm gonna do is, if you notice, the table is actually one straight line, right? So I'm trying to line them up so that I can actually blend them in a little bit nicely. So let me see. Let's do the one in the left first. Okay, let's do the one in the left. So okay, so my camera angle is pretty good. So I didn't have to rotate it or anything like that. Okay, but if I had to rotate it, I can actually right click, go to trans transform, and I can actually do arbitrary rotation where I can actually rotate it any way I like. Okay, and then I can adjust based on based on how much I need to rotate to move this. And if I need to rotate not based in the middle of the picture, I can actually do fuzzy selection tool, select, and then I invert because I'm choosing everything outside, right? Transparency. All right, invert, and then right click, again, layer, transform, arbitrary rotation, okay? And then, actually, you just move this. You just move this and it will actually rotate. Oh, I forgot. Okay. It will actually rotate based on where this middle point is, not where the selection is. Oops, forgot, which is fine. Okay, cool. Um, and then the next step is that adding a, I'm adding, I'm adding a layer mask. So I'm gonna hide some of these things. But note that my favorite one is actually airbrush when I get close because I don't want it to look really, really sharp like this. This is a bad example, okay? A pen, okay, a paintbrush or pen, and just um, paint black into it. Okay, I don't like that. Normal mode. Once again, I used color erase yesterday, so it's still in color erase. I really don't like this kind of sharp edges, okay, when I get close because it will look really fake. So I would actually use paintbrush and ooh, yeah, looks really natural and cut as close as I can. Okay, this is my waist camera actually. I'm gonna put it around my house and record and see who's at my door. Okay, like that. So if you don't have a mouse, it will be a little bit harder. I mean, I've had students who do it without a mouse. Okay, oop. So I messed up a little bit. I can actually go back or you can actually paint white again. So, oops, let's just say you messed up. You can actually use white to oops, what's going on? Oh, okay. Use white to actually fix it if you want. All right. Okay. So, once again, you see here, paint black into the layer mask. Remember to choose the layer mask here, right? Okay, like that. Okay. Um, if I messed up a little bit, no problem. I just use white and I fix up a little bit. Okay. All right, I'm just doing a rough job here. Um, cut as close as you can. So I would actually just try to do the rough idea, the rough areas as much as I can. I'm keeping the reflection though. I'm not keeping this line here. They line up, so that's great. Okay, so on and so forth. Okay, so that's that. And I use the same method to actually do this picture at layer mask in this part, and then I'm trying to hide these area. Oh, but before I do that, I actually do want to move it to the right place. This is actually not as perfect as it is. Let me see here. There's some selection, some kind of selection. Oh, okay, cool. So this is actually not as perfect.
Mr. Yang,
Hang on,
I think you should
hang on,
rotate it.
hang on. Okay, trying to do some demonstration. You can ask me a question later. Okay, so I go to layer, uh, transform, arbitrary rotation, move the point of rotation here, and then I can rotate it a little bit. Okay, just try to match the table line here. Click enter. Okay, try to process it, and then move it. You can actually use the arrow, your keyboard to move it sometimes. Okay, so I just use my mouse to move it. But eventually, I will blend it with the background, and then I just let me just show you a quick quick way. I don't like using erasers, but I just want to show you how the final product would would look like. That's all. Okay, will look like this, right? Okay, don't use eraser. Use layer mask as much as you can. Okay, so blend in. Okay, the last stroke is no good. Okay, looks pretty good. So that's actually how you do it, guys. Um, of course, if you look at the one on the left, right, it's a little bit wider than the other two, right? The one on the right is a little bit white too. So what I would do is middle layer here. Okay, I can actually name it left, so I don't have to keep clicking. middle, and background. Okay, and then right. Okay, so I can actually go to colors, brightness and contrast, and I can actually make it less bright. Okay, I can actually make it less bright to try to match the one in the middle, right? Okay, so maybe that's not actually not what I want. I can actually go to tool, colors, and I want to go to exposure, maybe. Okay, I want it to be darker. That's good. Okay. And it looks like that I actually need to cut out the black here and adjust the black to match this black. Okay. So there's more work to be involved, but it's possible to do it. Okay. So I need to choose the black here, hide the other white, and then make it another layer, and then put it and use the color settings in here, either exposure or sometimes it will be color temperature, color balance to actually adjust it so that the blacks look the same. Okay, so they need to look the same. Remember the shadows, remember the perspectives, and don't actually cut it so sharp. Okay, like this, for example. Okay, don't do it so sharp. Use a feathered um, brush, okay, like an airbrush like this, a feathered um, brush head to actually slowly do your work. Look out, okay, so zoom out and look often and zoom in and work on it again, okay? Good luck.